How's everyone? Grant here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'll be unboxing the Apple Watch Series 3 LTE connected version. As you can see here, it is the Apple Watch Series 3 42mm gold aluminum sport loop pink sand. So this is the gold version. They don't have a lot of band options here for the gold version. I want to color match it to my gold iPhone 8 Plus. So I figured I'd go for something different on the Apple Watch. Go with the gold. And of course I need the bigger 42mm and pink sand sport loop. So they only have the pink bands in either that fluoroelastomer band, which is the standard Apple Watch plastic band. That actually does feel nice and soft. But I want to go with the new sport loop band just to try out the new one. But it also came in pink, so not a lot of customization options there by Apple on the watches out of the box. And if you're curious about the price, because that is a number one spec for a lot of people and it is very expensive, if you want to get the non-LTE connected Series 3 watch for the 38mm, the smaller one, that's going to be $329. To go up to the 42mm, the larger one, that's $359. And then if you want to go for the LTE or cellular connected version like this, you're going to spend an extra $70. So that's $399 for the 38mm and $429 for the larger 42mm, which is this one I've got right here. So this right here is $429 without tax. And so that is a lot of money. You're spending an extra $70 for cellular connectivity. And that's really what this Series 3 is all about. It's all about the addition of LTE and cellular connectivity so that when you're away from your iPhone, you can still send and receive calls and text messages as well as stream music, although it's only Apple Music streaming. And LTE streaming to the cellular connected watch is not yet available yet by Apple. And I think you've all heard by now that people are having LTE connectivity issues as well. So the number one selling feature of this watch, which is that cellular connectivity, apparently there's some problems with it. And the main feature with it is the Apple streaming music is not even available yet. So obviously I wouldn't recommend that you go out and get the LTE connected version just yet. But I will test it out because I'm just curious. I'll bite the bullet for you guys and I'll report back my personal experience if I have any kind of LTE connectivity issues and what that Apple streaming is like once it's actually available. Other things that have been changed here is that like every Apple Watch that's released, they make it faster, so the hardware is faster. They got a faster new processor in here. The Series 2 over the previous series was noticeably faster. This should be noticeably faster than the Series 2, but we'll see. Because that Series 2 watch, I do have one, and it works pretty well. And I pretty much only use my watches for things like notifications, controlling music, some of the fitness stuff, but mostly for that, receiving calls and answering calls and sending text messages while connected to my phone. And obviously with that faster processor, what that is enabling is Siri that talks. So on the previous Apple Watches, it did have Siri, but it would just present the information on the watch. Now Siri will actually talk to you through your watch. And they also have the new W2 chip here for wireless connectivity, which Apple is claiming an increase of 85% boost in Wi-Fi performance and 50% increase in power efficiency for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So other people are saying they're getting better battery life because of that. So we'll see what my experience is like on the watch here. And lastly, they also include an altimeter. So previous versions did not have that. So if you're a fitness geek, you want that altimeter to report elevation stats to you, stair climbs, all that kind of stuff. That's what that's going to do for you here in the Series 3 watch. So not a lot of changes. That cellular connectivity, a faster processor, new wireless chip for better battery performance, hopefully, as well as that altimeter. So if you're perfectly satisfied with how your Series 2 is performing and you don't feel you need cellular connectivity, you probably don't want a brand new watch because once I unbox this, you're going to see it's going to look exactly the same as the previous Apple Watches. So no aesthetic changes. Only reason to really get this is because you want the cellular connectivity, I think. And maybe you think your Apple Watch is kind of slow right now. I personally don't think mine is, but that would be the other reason to kind of get this, and maybe for the battery life, depending on how that goes. Now, you'll notice this is a nice square box here. This is the kind of box that they usually give for the Apple Watch editions previously. And what I'm noticing is I think if you get this Sport Loop band, you're getting this kind of a box. Actually, if you're getting the cellular connected version, you're getting this nicer box. If you get the non-connected version, you're getting that traditional flatter rectangular box, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and just break into the box here. Now there's no nice tab to pull like you have on your iPhones and stuff, so we actually have to cut it open. That's okay because that's part of the fun. Tear it open there, and we'll lift up the top. And there it is. So I like this box better. It's a nicer presentation with your Apple Watch sitting right on top just like that. We'll take that out and check that out in a bit. See what else we get in the box here. That's just the display stand. You've got your Apple paperwork here, and this should be your quick start guide, and it is. So some information to read if you want to there. No stickers in the box. You've got your normal Apple charging plug as well as the standard Apple charging cable here for your watch. So we'll set all that stuff off and check out the actual, bring back the actual watch itself. So we'll take out the plastic here. And we'll check out the Apple Watch. So this is the gold version, and I think it's changed. So it does match the new gold on the iPhone. So at least the trim. So you can see there it's color matched nicely. It's more of that copperish kind of gold, not that yellowish kind of gold. And here is the Sport Loop. So it's a very soft touch, almost like Velcro, that soft part of the Velcro. That's kind of what this feels like. And obviously there's Velcro on the inside. And I'm definitely not going to be using this pink. Pink's not really me. I've got a bunch of other Apple Watch bands that I can use with this, but I did want to color match the watch to my phone just to see how that is. And of course the cellular connected versions have that red dot, which to me is kind of ugly. I really wish they didn't do that. I preferred the black color in there. Anything other than red, I don't know why they did that. Just to differentiate, I suppose, because that's the only way to differentiate physically if you've got the new Apple Watch. So some people may like that. They like broadcasting, they have the newest thing, but I think that red is not that good aesthetically. But putting this on, now it doesn't look like me with the pink color, at least for me, but it definitely is nice. It feels very soft and feels very nice and light. So I'm liking this band. I might actually want to get this band in a different color. Because, you know, if you're out for exercising in a run or walking around exercising, you know, you're going to get maybe sweaty, you just want something that breathes a little, I think this will breathe. It's a very nice soft touch band, feels very nice. Of course the Apple Watch is going to look exactly the same, and that's not a bad thing. And when you think about it, that's kind of impressive for Apple to pack in a lot of that new tech, especially the cellular connectivity. They're using eSIM, so it's an embedded SIM in there, so that saves them a lot of space as well. Packing in an altimeter, all that kind of stuff to support the new functionality. They supposedly kept the housing exactly the same, and this sensor on the bottom just sticks out a smidge. I think they're saying like maybe the size of 2 pieces of paper. So, but overall, of course, the aesthetic looks the same. I never thought the Apple Watch looked that great to me, but a lot of people refer to it as a piece of jewelry. First impressions that this thing feels kind of light, I think because of the band itself is very, very light. I'm used to something heavier. But I can bring in my current Apple Watch, so I've got a gold one here, but it's of course more of a yellowish gold. So you can see the difference in the gold. So this is the previous gold, which is a more yellowish gold that matched the previous iPhones. And this is a new gold, more of a copperish one. Not quite rose gold that matches the new gold trim on the Apple iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. But as you can see, pretty much the same size, 42 millimeters. And if you look at it, it's pretty much the same thickness. I think if I can get that in there. It's looking about the same. You can get it this way too. So definitely looking the same thickness. And can we see if the sensor protrudes out a little bit more? Let's try to get that in frame. And yeah, maybe it kind of does. Yeah, the sensor definitely protrudes more on the bottom there. You can see it. But otherwise, it rests and looks the same on your wrist. And like I said, this feels very light because this sport band is very light. I do recommend this one. It's a nice little sport band. The fluoroelastomer plastic one feels nice because it's nice and soft. But this one is definitely lighter. And it feels better, I think. So we'll see how it wears. I have a feeling that if you sweat all over this thing, I'm not sure how it's going to wear very well, but I'm sure Apple's thought of that. But there you go. We'll even start it up here and set it up. So that's the first screen you're going to see when it starts up. We're going to go and grab the iPhone here and see if I can go ahead and my Apple Watch pops straight up right as soon as I unlocked it. That's pretty cool. So we continue. This will launch the watch application, I'm sure. And we'll just line up the watch design, that blob, the phone there. Oh, I might not have caught that on camera, sorry. But you just line up your phone camera over the image that was shown on the watch. It automatically detects it and pairs it. And we'll go ahead and set up as a new watch. Left wrist. So here's the cellular setup. Let's see how this works here. So it knows I'm T-Mobile. It picks up T-Mobile there. So we'll see how this works. So there you go. Choose a data plan. Data with paired digits, $10 a month for first 3 months free. So it is $10 a month, but you get 3 months for free to try this out. So we'll give that a go. So we're supposedly all set to go. So let's see if this works. Apple Watch is awake, can make and receive calls, send and receive messages, and get calendar mail updates over cell. Cool. Install the apps, and everything should be syncing on the watch. And it tells you all the basics for how to use your watch while it's setting up. So I finally got through the whole setup process. Cellular is connected and working on here. So I'm going to test that out some more. But just a quick spin through on the watch. This has Apple's new Watch OS 4. I didn't install Watch OS 4 on my previous Apple Watches because I want to, again, experience this kind of brand new on some brand new hardware here. So just to see what Watch OS 4 is like on some brand new hardware. But anyway, this is the default watch face when it came in. You can swipe through to check out some additional watch faces. Some of them are new, like this one. As far as I can see, and of course, if you swipe down, you look at your notifications. Keep swiping through. This is a Siri watch face that has a bunch of information on it that Siri believes you're going to want to see. And some other standard watch faces here. And you've got some new Toy Story ones as well. That's the big deal there for the new Watch OS 4 here. Your Mickey watch, as always, and some other standard watch faces that we always had. I'm going to go put it back to that first one. Or actually, I usually like this one. I'll customize it out, but I usually like this one because I can put a whole bunch of information on it. And a bunch of these complications, like Apple likes to say, which are basically just widgets of information. So I'll just set it up to see the information I want to see a little bit later. But again, swipe down to see notifications, swipe up, you get your control center. That's going to let you know what it's connected to. So right now I'm just connected to my phone. I think this turns a different color when it's connected to cellular. And if I tap that, I can turn on and off cellular. I saw reports where you couldn't do this. People were running into some issues where, it's supposed to automatically connect to the best and strongest connection. So whether that be Wi-Fi or cellular, it'll actually connect to your phone and try to use the cellular or the Wi-Fi networks that your phone has connected to. And people are reporting they're having some issues where they're out and about and they're connecting to open Wi-Fi hotspots. And a lot of those require you to sign in on a page. And of course, since the watch can't sign in on any kind of a web page, it gets stuck. There's no connectivity. And you can't force cellular. So we'll see if I run into those issues. But this is kind of that cellular setting there. You usually have your airplane mode. Some other ones that are new here, I think, is theater mode. So you tap that, and it'll basically put this into a silent mode and not turn on your watch display while you're in a dark setting or in a theater or whatever you want to activate that. So that's kind of nice because Apple Watch never had that feature, even though some other phones or watches have had that handy feature there. You have the expel the water. So if you get it wet, you can hit that and expel water from your phone or your watch. And you just turn the crown. It makes that sound and squirts out some water apparently. And here's your AirPlay, I believe. Yeah, so you can AirPlay the speaker to an AirPlay connected device. And that's pretty much that. And of course, your digital crown, you hit that, you have all your apps. Long press that to go to more of a list view. And so if you don't want to scroll through that mass blob, this is kind of cool to look through all the apps. I don't use a ton of apps. Like I said, I mainly use this for notifications, for taking and receiving phone calls and messages. It comes in handy, like if you're around the house, you don't have your phone on you, you get a message or you get a phone call, you can just take it on your watch or respond to a message really quickly with some predefined messages or through voice dictation. So that's always very helpful, but I don't use a ton of apps. The most I do is like to listen to music. So I wouldn't really want to try that Apple Music streaming when it's available through cellular. And if you hit this button, you get through all your apps and quick settings and widgets, and you can scroll through that. It's a vertical block now in OS 4. It used to be a side-to-side swipe in the previous one. So you can see your activity heart rate. So heart rate has changed in OS 4, where it's continuously monitoring for different types of heart rate here. So interested to try that out a little bit. And what else do we have here? Activity, workout, all the same stuff. Music controls, so you can control what's currently playing on your wrist, which is definitely handy. calendar, maps, and some other things, so, and get back to all your apps that way. So basic quick run through of watchOS 4 there. It does feel a little snappier, but we'll have to see as I use it more in day-to-day to feel the responsiveness and everything else. I really want to check the battery life to see if it's really getting better battery life on this as well, because that's going to be pretty key. Not that it had bad battery life, but if I can get through more than at least a couple full days, that would be nice. Usually in my previous Apple Watch, I would charge this every night just to be on the safe side, even though it would get me through a day no problem. So hopefully this gets me through 2 days without having to worry about it. So we'll see about that. But that's just a quick unboxing, run through, and setup of the Apple Watch Series 3 with cellular connectivity, watchOS 4 on it, and this new Sport Loop band. So if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching.